Hey guys, it's Lisa and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to make over some things and we're going to start with this birdhouse. And I thrifted this, but it was cracked pretty bad in the front. But I knew that I could fill that in with my air dry clay, so I didn't worry about that. I just filled it in and let it dry and sanded it down. And then I'm going to be adding a mold to this. And I decided on this that I want to use the birdsong mold. I haven't done that on a birdhouse yet, so I thought this would be a good one to do that on. I wanted to let you guys know that a friend of mine, her name is Myra, she started her own channel. And I suggested a while back that she do that because she's very talented. And she actually does the same type of things that I do, but she thinks of a lot of things that I don't think of, and I'm going to link her channel in the description, and I hope that you guys will go and check her out and subscribe, because I think you'll be very happy you did. She is so talented and so creative, and she actually, on her first video, she does something with light switch plates that I was just amazed with. It blew me away, and I told her I was going to have to steal her idea so that I could sell them in the store. So you guys need to check out that video so you can see what she does with the light switch cover. Now I'm adding the birdsong mold to this one. And this one is actually made from resin. So I have some of these made up ahead. And actually Myra sent me some of these. And she's the one that got me started doing these resin molds. But this is so handy to have when you have flat surfaces that you want to add these to. You'll have a lot made up. And it's so quick. You just mix two parts together and pour it in your mold, and within 10 minutes it is solid, and it's amazing how strong these are. So this is the only mold that I'm going to add to this, and I glued it with tight bond glue and just a little bit of hot glue, just so I would have some permanent or some temporary hold while the permanent glue dries. And then I just took this outside and spray painted the roof and everything black because I wanted black to distress to. And then I'm giving this 2 coats of the color cotton, which is just kind of a crisp white color, and that's a Dixie Belle color. And I'm going to give this 2 coats of this color and do some script stamping kind of randomly on this, and then wet distress it. And that's all that I'm going to do to this one. I'm not going to paint the roof. I'm going to leave it black because my theme or my colors in my vignette are going to be black and white. So I just kind of carefully painted against the roof, leaving the roof black. And again, I did some script stamping on it, and I did some wet distressing. I just took a damp cloth once this was dry to the touch and rubbed it across all the high spots. And then that's all that I did to this one, except I did give this a good clear coat, actually a couple of good clear coats, so that it would be ready to go outside. And I forgot that I added another resin mold to the top to just kind of mimic a window. Ideally, I would have done this before I added the black paint, but so that won't have any distress on it unless I draw that on with a permanent marker. And I don't think I mentioned the name of my friend's channel. It's called Farm Fresh Designs 59, and that's the name of her channel. So again, I think you will be very pleased when you go and subscribe to her channel. She actually has 2 videos up already, And I haven't got to check out the second one yet. But again, I was so pleased with the first one. And she did so much better than I did on my first videos. I'm also excited that I have a few hang tags to show. Actually, a few hang tags from the same person. But she is so talented. She did such a beautiful job on her hang tags. So I'm excited to show those and also show what my hang tag wall is starting to look like. So I'm keeping this one kind of simple. Again, I'm just putting some script stamping on it and those molds, and I really like how this one turned out. And now the second item that I'm going to make over is a picture frame that I thrifted. And this one, I'm going to keep it simple also. I'm just going to paint it black, just like I did with the birdhouse, as a base coat to distress down to. And then I'm going to paint it with 2 coats of the color cotton and use a wet cloth to wet distress that. And then I'll just put some stamped art inside it. And I'm making this vignette more of a bird-themed vignette. And so I'm just going to stamp a bird on some blank book page. And then put that over some scrapbook paper. And this will be a very simple makeover. Now, we'll be painting the back of this white also because it is going to be one that I'll sell. So I want the back to look like it goes with the front. So I just paint the whole thing white and then wet distress the front and put that stamped bird art in it. Now, the back of the stand was really bothering me also, so I ended up having to paint that white as well. But this is just a very simple way to take just a regular picture frame and turn it into some art. And now the next item that I'm going to make over is an oversized candlestick that I thrifted. And it had that little metal piece at the top to hook the candle down on, and I removed that with some pliers, and then I painted the whole thing black. And I went ahead and put 2 coats of black on this because that's the color that I'm going to leave it. And I had this little dish pan or this little enamel pan. I'm not sure what kind of pan it is, but it's just a little black and white enamel pan. And I've had it for some time and haven't sold it. So I just glued that on the top of that candlestick with some E6000. And now this can be used as a little bird bath. And I guess it wouldn't have to be used as a bird bath. It could be used as a very tall riser, but I kind of did it with a bird bath in mind. Now, the next item I'm making over is this little wall candle holder, and it had a little candle cup on the top of that little ledge. I removed that, and in removing that, I removed the little shelf also accidentally, so it wasn't real tight. So I'm just gluing that back on. And then I'm going to give this 2 coats of the color black. I think I just used regular black matte finish spray paint on this. So I gave it 2 coats. There was a little crack there on the front also that I had to fill in with some of my air dry clay. This one was a little rough, but again, I made it work because that little shelf is going to be hidden anyway because I'm adding this spoon to it. And this is like a little ladle, and it's just stainless steel, I guess. I thrifted it. But I'm gonna paint this black with that same spray paint. I think I used the Rust-Oleum 2X, and I gave this 2 coats of that and let it dry well before I painted this ladle in the color cotton. And then before I clear coated it, I took I took a wet or a damp cloth and did quite a bit of wet distressing, especially around all the edges, so that it would give it that same look that the enamel pan had. So here I've already painted this, and I actually painted it with a satin finish paint. I gave it 2 coats of a satin finish paint because what I wanted here was just to do some white waxing just around the edges where you get that little lip of detail, and it would make that show up. But it didn't want to change the color of the black. So again, I just gave it 2 coats of a satin finish black so that I didn't have to do a clear coat over the top of it. And then here I am giving this 2 coats of the color cotton. I let that dry well and then use a damp cloth to rub all around the top edges and bring back black all the way around that, and then it has that same look as that enamel pan. And I also took a little bird stamp, and I think this is just a little bird stamp that I got at the Dollar Tree last year. So I just stamped a little bird stamp to the very top, because what I'm going to be making from this is a bird feeder. So I'll attach this ladle to the front of that candle holder with some E6000 glue, and then this little ladle is where you could put some bird seed and feed the birds from it. So, or it can be just for looks, or you could put a little nest with some eggs in it. And then obviously the ladle needed to be sealed well also, so I gave this a couple of coats of a clear finish. And now this could just hang on the side of your house or on a fence or wherever you wanted it, maybe even a post to feed the birds. Now I wanted to do a hang tag for this one, so I'm going to make this hang tag to have kind of look like there is a bird in a nest. So I'm just layering some book page there behind the bird, and I just picked a bird in the black and white theme, and I'm going to glue that on there, and then I'm going to build a little 3-dimensional nest around the bottom of the bird. And the hang tags that I got in the mail today are definitely going to put this one to shame. But I just wanted to give you another idea on how to make these. I'm just kind of trying to do different techniques to give you more ideas on what to do with them. Now, I don't tell you guys often enough how very much I appreciate all of you. You say some of the kindest things, and many of you have just been so supportive of me, and you just don't know how much I appreciate that, and how much I appreciate all the hang tags you guys are sending in, because I know that postage is not cheap right now, and but I do appreciate all the hard work that you do on them, and I so appreciate you taking the time to send them in. Now, if you have not watched me much and you wonder what I just did with that little piece of lace, I like to rough up the edges with the scissors, and that kind of puckers it up and gives it more dimension, but it also takes away from that cut edge. It just gives it more of a natural look. And now this is that netted ribbon that you get from the Dollar Tree. And I love this stuff. It comes in different colors. I only buy the white. I'm sure there's other uses for some of the other colors, but I really like to use this for texture. So I'm putting that behind the nest. I really don't know why I put it there. Again, I just like the look of that texture behind it. And I think this just works so good to add texture. And then I'm just going to use some little scraps of twigs are not actual twigs. These are actually just little scraps of some picks, some floral picks. And I got some that resembled a nest, and I'm adding some different little textures to kind of make this look like a nest. And I'm just kind of figuring it out as I go. As you can see here, I'm ending up having to use some very short little clips of it, but they work out really well to build that nest. And obviously I'm just gluing everything with hot glue. If I'm gluing paper to paper, obviously I like to use Elmer's glue, or I even like the clear Elmer's glue. I actually feel like it holds even better than the white. But if I am gluing textures together like this, I like to use the hot glue, or I guess you could use cloth glue. The hot glue is just always handy for me, and it's just so much quicker. And now I'm adding some more texture with this cheesecloth that has been coffee stained. And I think a viewer sent this in to me that she had already coffee stained. And this is just really good to use for texture. And I love to add different types of texture, because if you've ever noticed a bird's nest, they build them with just whatever they can find. They are very resourceful, and I love that about bird's nest. And I just love three-dimensional hang tags. I've gotten several of those from the viewers, and I think they've gotten some really good ideas on how to add texture to their hang tags. Because this is kind of a smallish hang tag, I don't have to add a whole lot to it to give it enough. I'm just kind of adding some of those little twigs over the top also. It just kind of adds some more layering and dimension. So once I get enough little twigs added in the nest, then I wanted to add a little primitive word to this. So I just took some of an old book page that didn't have any writing on it and just tore out a little small sign. I didn't cut it because I just wanted the rustic look of it torn, and I just tore a very small piece of that book page, and I will just hand write in lowercase the word nest and glue that to the top, and that will add a little primitive touch to this tag. And obviously, I like to distress around the edges of each layer. And I also added some of that textured ribbon underneath my word here, just to give it a little bit of dimension. And for the string on this one, I'm just using a tea towel that I have coffee stained and torn into little strips. And I just used that as my string because I felt like that gave it more of a primitive look also. Now today's hang tags are sent to me from Diane Miller from Florida. And she is so talented. I was just so amazed at these hang tags, and she made 3 of them and did both sides of them. So I think you'll be really impressed with these. Now Diane used some beautiful materials on her hang tag, and you can tell she's got a lot of talent. I love these roses. I love her layering, and the script, of course, is just so beautiful. And even the back with that little bunny on the bottom is just so sweet. And then the next hang tag, again, those beautiful flowers and stamping and just layering it of the lace, and I just love it. I think this is just so pretty. And these hang tags, I just want to keep them for myself. And here is one with Be Still and Know, and that's my favorite scripture. And I love all the roses. I love the fabric that she made her little shabby roses with on the bottom there. That's just such a sweet touch. These, again, I know I say it a lot, but these are so my style. This is just so pretty, and I love the red around antiquing that she did with the red. It's just so beautiful. And here they all are together, and they just look like they're a set. They're just so pretty. And now here is what my hang tag wall is starting to look like. It's really starting to fill in. So I'm just going to kind of slowly go through and show you all the hang tags that I've been receiving. And as you can see, there's just so much talent here. So very much talent. Actually, I'm starting to think when I do my hang tags that I just can't compete with you guys. Y'all are doing such an awesome job. And again, don't forget to check out Myra's channel. It's called Farm Fresh Designs 59. And again, I don't think you'll be disappointed at all. When I finish this video, I'm going to check out her second video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great evening, and God bless you and your family.